Sometimes the most chilling mysteries don't begin with a crime scene. They begin with silence. A single missed phone call, a message left unread, a promise left unfulfilled. In the quiet city of Alberta, a young woman named Shannon Medal vanished without warning, without explanation, and without a single trace. What followed was a 7-month journey filled with confusion, hope, heartbreak, and a truth so devastating that it shattered everyone who believed they knew her best. This is the story of how an ordinary evening turned into a nightmare that no one could have predicted. Told carefully, respectfully, and within the boundaries of YouTube's safety standards. Shannon Medal's story begins in late November 2014, at a time when her life seemed to be taking a positive turn. She was a young actress from Alberta who had just landed a meaningful acting role that she was genuinely proud of. Her family described her as enthusiastic, hopeful, and deeply committed to her craft. On the evening she disappeared, she was supposed to meet her brother Brett at a theater to celebrate her recent achievement. It was meant to be a simple, joyful moment between siblings, something completely ordinary. But when Shannon did not show up, everything that followed became anything but ordinary. At first, Brett believed she might be running late. Shannon often took extra time preparing for events, especially when she was excited. But as the minutes turned into hours, the unanswered messages and unreturned calls began to feel unusual. Shannon was known to be responsive, especially to her family. By the next morning, the family's concern had grown into genuine fear. They reached out to each other, contacted friends, and tried to think of logical explanations, but nothing made sense. Shannon was responsible, reliable, and never the type to vanish without informing anyone. The family eventually decided to report her missing, with 6 members, including her husband Joshua, going to the police station together. Initially, authorities did not consider the situation urgent. They explained that adults are free to leave voluntarily, and many missing cases resolve within hours. But Shannon's family insisted that this disappearance did not match her character or her plans. They repeatedly emphasized that Shannon had just achieved something important in her career, had scheduled upcoming work, and was preparing for a move to Edmonton. She had every reason to stay connected and none to walk away. After continued pressure from the family, the police began their initial checks, contacting hospitals, scanning records, and performing welfare checks. Still, there was no sign of Shannon. There were no withdrawals from her bank account, no activity on her phone, no social media interaction, and no communication of any kind. The silence was not only shocking, but completely uncharacteristic. Eventually, Joshua told police he had found Shannon's cell phone at their home, tucked inside a pair of pants. Her car was also discovered parked near the house. Neither discovery brought comfort. Instead, they only intensified the mystery. Why would Shannon leave her phone behind? Why would her car be nearby if she planned to go somewhere? The house itself did not show signs of disorder. There were no indications of forced entry or obvious conflict. Investigators had nothing concrete to act on. The family felt trapped in uncertainty, fearing the worst but still clinging to hope. As days passed, the case took a strange turn, when 2 photos appeared in a Calgary park showing a woman with red hair hiding her face. The resemblance to Shannon unsettled both the public and the police. For a moment, the family wondered if the photos could be a message or a clue. But after investigation, the photos were revealed to be part of a student art project, entirely unrelated to Shannon's disappearance. The brief spark of hope quickly faded into heartbreak. Desperate for answers, volunteers and search teams scoured areas including Big Creek Park, using search dogs, helicopters, and drones. They checked riverbanks, trails, and wooded areas. Despite the massive effort, no evidence surfaced. The lack of clues made the case feel like it was dissolving into thin air, leaving the family emotionally exhausted and overwhelmed by a sense of helplessness. 7 months after the disappearance, in May 2015, the investigation took a new direction when Detective Christine White, an experienced homicide investigator, was assigned to the case. She decided to review everything from the beginning, examining statements, timelines, and every detail the family had shared. During her review, one name appeared repeatedly at the center of the story: Joshua, Shannon's husband. Up to this point, Joshua had participated in search efforts, attended family gatherings, and appeared distraught. Shannon's family fully trusted him and relied on him during their moments of fear and confusion. However, when Detective White compared his statements over time, she noticed minor inconsistencies. They were subtle, small differences in timelines and descriptions, but they raised questions. Although these inconsistencies were not enough for immediate action, they encouraged Detective White to continue probing. She attempted to obtain search warrants, but without strong evidence, the process stalled. Still, she believed the truth was somewhere close, and she pushed forward. On June 2, 2015, she finally secured a warrant to search the home Shannon had shared with Joshua. When detectives arrived, Joshua delayed opening the door, which immediately struck them as concerning. When he eventually answered, he appeared distressed and emotionally overwhelmed. Without any prompting, he told the officers something that would change the entire direction of the case. "I am the one who did it. I am the one who ended Shannon's life." Investigators were stunned. The situation escalated quickly, and Joshua was taken for medical treatment while officers secured the property. After that confession, search teams carefully combed through the home and yard. Buried beneath layers of soil and concealed under ordinary backyard debris, they found Shannon's remains. They were hidden in containers and covered with trash bags, which explained why they had been missed during earlier searches. The discovery devastated Shannon's family, who had spent months hoping she might still return alive. As investigators pieced together the truth, Joshua provided a detailed account of the circumstances leading up to Shannon's death. The explanation he offered emphasized the emotional strain in their relationship. The couple had been married for only 7 months, but their marriage had been troubled. Joshua had initiated the idea of an open marriage, something Shannon reluctantly agreed to. Over time, this arrangement caused significant emotional pain for her, and she eventually told Joshua she wanted to end the open marriage and return to a committed, monogamous relationship. She also expressed her desire to move to Edmonton. According to his statement, the couple had grown distant. Their schedules rarely aligned, and their communication broke down. Shannon was focused on rebuilding her life, while Joshua was secretly continuing relationships outside their marriage. He admitted that their final conversation escalated into a heated argument about their future. In panic, confusion, and overwhelming emotion, he made decisions that were irreversible. The specifics of the event, while openly discussed in court, are not repeated here in detail, to ensure the content remains respectful and within YouTube's safety guidelines. What matters is that Shannon lost her life during that confrontation, and Joshua concealed the truth for 8 months. 2 years later, the case went to trial. Joshua pled guilty to second-degree murder, accepting responsibility, but insisting that the act was not planned. It happened during an emotional outburst. The prosecution presented forensic evidence that supported key parts of Shannon's injuries, but avoided any graphic descriptions. Shannon's family attended the hearings, though Joshua refused to appear in person, saying he could not face them. The verdict resulted in a life sentence with eligibility for parole after 10 years. The decision brought mixed feelings. On one hand, it held Joshua accountable. On the other, the family felt that 10 years before potential release was not enough to reflect the magnitude of their loss. As of recent years, Joshua has submitted a request for parole, and Shannon's family continues to prepare to oppose it. They remain committed to ensuring that Shannon's memory is honored and her story is not forgotten. This case continues to impact many people because it illustrates how a disappearance can begin quietly, without dramatic events or immediate clues. It demonstrates how relationships can hide emotional struggles that others never see. It reminds us that sometimes the truth takes months to emerge, and even when it does, it can be more painful than anyone expects. Shannon's story is remembered because she was a daughter, a sister, a friend, and a woman with dreams who was working towards a better future. Her family continues to share her story, not to sensationalize tragedy, but to honor her life, her aspirations, and the love they still carry for her.
If you're still here watching, thank you. Before you go, please subscribe to our channel, Dark Frame Stories, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another real-life mystery like this.